and lock those children in cages? Where were the helicopters when George Floyd was shot? Where were the helicopters when Breonna Taylor was killed in her own home? We know damn well that the helicopters show up to each and every one of our protests. We need to divest from Homeland Security and give those funds back to healthcare services. Black Lives Matter.
Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name's Patrick. I'm from Orange County. I think focusing on improving helicopters is not the best priority or best use of our funds right now. In Anaheim, a police helicopter caught footage of an Anaheim PD patrol car running into a peaceful protester, a hit and run, mind you, which would be a felony if I were to do it, a hit and run. This helicopter caught footage of the Anaheim Police Department hit and run on a peaceful protester. So how should we justify spending more money on helicopters when this same footage is being used against the civilians? How can we justify spending all of this money on helicopters when we have this whole defund the police movement that y'all have yet to acknowledge that we should be using our money for the communities? Instead of putting into flying helicopters above us to police us, we should focus about boots on the ground. Who are the people
Thank you. Your
that actually
time
need
is
help?
up.
Black Lives Matter.
Next speaker,
Your time
please.
is up.
The nature of the Department of Homeland Security has been predicated on vociferous constitutional gaslighting and surreptitiously conditioned illegality. Lawsuits filed conditioned on infringements of the First, Fourth, and Fifth Amendments, whilst the Department of Homeland Security has used in fulfilling law enforcement duties, with contemporaneous deployment in 15 cities capturing 270 hours of surveillance, obstructing privacy and surveillance law. And this constitutes an overextension of Section 1315 as brought in the Department of Justice in whistleblowing filings. The political initiative constitutes the antithetical Federal Protective Service outlined in 2002 Bill of Homeland Security Act. The political initiative constitutes antithetical political outlines and is therefore unconstitutional under the law for which you are supposed to be upholding. Thanks.
Next speaker, please.
Hi, I'd like to speak to the $1.2 million budgeting allocation for the Rotorcraft contract related to helicopters, which is now condensed into a 1 to 2 year contract as opposed to previous years, preventing those funds from being utilized in other facets of the community in more deeper and more meaningful community ways and needs. More importantly, the use of helicopters in this county and policing is problematic in general due to the misuse and misrepresentation of footage obtained by helicopters. For example, in the recent hit and run perpetrated by an Anaheim Police Department officer on July 25th at a peaceful protest where an officer intentionally struck a young black man, did not stop to assist and sped away at a high rate of speed. The helicopter footage put out by the PD as well as the statement by the city of Anaheim was criminally edited and not reflective of my eyewitness account to the incident. Please defund the police and police equipment. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Emily, and while we're in the middle of a pandemic and Orange County Social Service Agency is facing uncertainty as to whether or not they will be able to fund the necessary and life-saving food stamp program, I do not believe we should be sitting here discussing a $1.2 million contract for helicopter parts and maintenance. Does the Orange County really need 5 helicopters? And if you believe the answer to this is yes, then maybe we can talk to Don Barnes about his almost $500,000 salary and the assistant deputies who all average about $400,000. If we can expect our educators to be creative with what little funds they receive, I definitely don't see anything wrong with expecting the same of all police officers. I mean, are they here to protect or serve? Or are they here to help you guys to get reelected? So I urge you not to approve this and start to talk about real issues that face the community and the people that you are supposed to represent. Thank you. Black Lives Matter.
Next speaker, please.
Hello, I'd like to speak on the same exact topic that the last speakers have been. I strongly urge you to reconsider this $1.2 million allocation of our funds, our taxpayer money, to buying helicopters. All of our neighbors, all of the people that live around us are in need right now. And it feels like a gross it's sad to see how little is allocated to our food stamps, to the things that sustain our community, and what is allocated to our community surveillance. Are you here to serve the community, or are you afraid of it? I really don't get it. I strongly urge you to reconsider this allocation. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Hello, I'm speaking on Agenda 9. I'm a part of District 1. Helicopters being used by Homeland Security is 100% an attack on community in Orange County. $1,200,000 is an egregious amount of money for a department that is constantly instilling fear in Black, Indigenous, and people of color. Rather, we can use that money for schools, teachers, free COVID testing, after-school programs, mental health crisis. The 2 years you want this money to cover could be used to better the lives for people living in Orange County. There is no need to further fund the police that is separating families based on a traffic stop. There is no need to further fund a department that is constantly preying on Black, Indigenous, and people of color. To allow helicopters being used by Homeland Security, you will be furthering the racist, dangerous, and outdated rhetoric in Orange County. Thank you, Black Lives Matter.
Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Rebecca Whitehead, and I'm here to speak about helicopter use in Orange County by our police forces and our sheriff's office. Recently, when I was at a protest in Costa Mesa that was stagnant and simply stayed on the corner of a street, we were surveilled from multiple points, as well as having a helicopter circle us at all times. For a stagnant protest, this is a gross misuse of taxpayer dollars, and it shows that even when police officers use these helicopters, they don't know how to use them, as we've seen in Anaheim City Council and Anaheim Police, where they don't even know how to zoom correctly to actually get accurate footage, that people are questioning the helicopter footage. These enforcement agencies don't know how to use these helicopters, so why do we keep funding them? And two, why are they being used on stagnant protests, completely wasting taxpayer money, when you're literally just watching a bunch of young people stand on the corner of the street and yell?
Your time is
Thank
up.
you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Madam Chair, we have no further speakers.
I have
Great.
a comment.
Yeah.
Felicity Figueroa of Irvine writes, "You've got to be kidding. Over $1 million for helicopter parts when houseless people are dying on our streets and those with mental illnesses are winding up in jail for lack of county support. What an irresponsible and unforgivable misuse of our tax dollars."
This is an all-district item.
Move the item.
No objection, passes. We're going to go into item number 10.
Under Healthcare Agency, receive and file status report and approve continuance of local health emergency and local emergency related to novel coronavirus COVID-19, and set review to determine need for continuing local emergency for September 15, 2020, 9:30 a.m., and every 30 days thereafter until terminated. Updates will be provided by the County Executive Office, Healthcare Agency, and other county departments concerning efforts to address and mitigate the public health and other impacts caused by the novel coronavirus COVID-19 emergency, and provide direction to the County Executive Officer and other county officers concerning ongoing county operations, allocation of county resources and personnel, maintenance of essential public services and facilities, temporary suspension and or closure of non-essential public services and facilities, management of county property and finances, measures necessary to protect public health and safety, and expenditures necessary to meet the social needs of the population. And we do have 29 requests to speak, and County Council does have one comment to read into the record.
Please bring speakers out.
Okay, first three speakers are Holly C., Alejandra Menez, and Kristen K.
The California Health Director has quit over inaccurate data.